right coast. Those of you out there in the Phoenix area, thank you. Thank you, Lord, for giving us an opportunity to be a part of your life. Those of you right here in Oklahoma City, hey, those of you in our state that are listening, thank you for listening and being a part of this, the Clara Luper Show, where we're live and in beautiful living color, believe it or not, but we're in beautiful living color here this morning. And we want you to do something special. Not only have that pen and pencil ready and paper, because there are going to be a lot of things that we're going to be discussing that will be encouraging to you, that will be encouraging to each and every one of you, because some great things will be happening, are happening in our city. You will be a part of it. You have been a part of it. 50 years ago this month, this started, and we will be celebrating the anniversary, if you want to call it that. We will be celebrating the start of the sit-in movement right here in Oklahoma City. Now, Cat's Drug Store is no longer there, but then John A. Brown's is no longer there. Bishop's Restaurant is no longer there. But these were places where a group of young people, led by a dynamic young lady, Mrs. Clara Luper, went down and asked for something very simple that today we take for granted, a hamburger and a Coca-Cola. So make sure that you have told your friend, you've told that neighbor, and especially those people there in your home, to stay tuned to this, the Clara Luper Show. The Freedom Fiesta starts tomorrow, but I'm going to save a little bit of that because I know that it's a lot of things that I want to share with you about the Freedom Fiesta. There are a lot of people that are starting to come into town so that they can be a part of the Freedom Fiesta. I'll tell you their names as we go through the program. But great things happened this week, and not only by Mom getting a proclamation and the Youth Council getting a proclamation, but I saw something that I never thought that I would ever see before. There were some young people, and I'm going to start with calling their name: Catherine Cardell, Patrick Chong, Alexandra Asali, Hannah Daly, Emma Land, Garrett, Zoili, Mikhail Kane, April Zamora, Jane Owen, Zachary Sanders, Joshua Foster, Christopher Gregory, Robert Carl, and Jonathan McKinstry were installed as the youth council members of the Oklahoma City City Council. Now, let me go with one of these names that we all know. A good friend of ours was there. He was busting so with pride that I don't know. That was his nephew. That is his nephew, Joshua Foster. Larry, we were proud to see that young man up there, clean cut, pants pulled up in a suit, but more important than that, representing Ward 7 on the Youth Council of Oklahoma City. If you don't know what the Youth Council does, you got to thank the mayor, Mike Cornett. You got to thank Skip Kelly and the other council persons for installing this program where the young people have a chance not only to be about government, but to see how it operates. And most importantly, some of their ideas will be incorporated into many of the plans for our great city. Oklahoma City is ready. Not only can we dribble that ball, but we have some young people that are ready. And those young people there, they prove the fact that it's encouraging to see them there because their pants weren't drooping, as I've said. But most importantly, they were there representing all of us. Freedom Fiesta time, 50 years later, lest we can forget. Who would have thought that 50 years ago today, one, that we would still be here, two, that we would have an opportunity to share with you some of the highlights of the events that will be coming up this week. The NAACP Youth Council, there at 2609, headquartered at the Freedom Center, North Martin Luther King. We're going through a lot of things, changes, to make sure that you can share with us the Freedom Fiesta 50 years later. The kickoff rally is Sunday at 4 p.m. at the Friendship Baptist Church. Now, it doesn't sound like a big deal because of kickoff rally. You hear about that all the time. But this is the kickoff rally of all kickoff rallies because the speaker will be none other than a former NAACP commando, a former NAACP Youth Council member, a former sit-inner, and that's none other than Reverend Samuel Craig. Now, it just gives me a thrill to say Reverend Samuel Craig, because those of us that knew him back in that day, we never thought that the Lord would have called him to be a minister. But he's done a fantastic job ministering in Oklahoma City area and the Loudoun area and across the state. But he will be the guest speaker There at another former city in this church where he's the minister, and that's Reverend Wayne Wyatt. Friendship Baptist Church. Put that on your agenda. Make sure that you are there. Make sure that if you're not there, that you send somebody to represent you and to tell you about it. Now, I'm going to go through each and every day's events, but I'm going to go through it a little slow because I know Lily is listening. I know over in Broken Bow, Lindsey Timms and Wanda Wood and Lauren Copper are waiting anxiously to put on display the display that they have made regarding the city and movement. And Mrs. Sylvia Minster's display will be on display too there at the Freedom Center. You've got to put on your agenda this week Freedom Fiesta. Pick your day because great things will be happening every day, and we'll be telling you more about it. Big day that I like, though, is that voter registration, which we will be doing each and every day. And if you aren't a registered voter, we want you to be a registered voter because that time has come. Another election is coming up, and you have to participate. And shame on you if you haven't participated in the past years, but I know that you will get registered during this week, lest we forget how strong, how powerful our little old one vote is. You can do it. We can do it together. Uh, I'm expecting a call in from several places, but as usual, on Saturday mornings, we expect calls because 672-1220 is our number, and we don't mind talking with you. We don't mind sharing with you, particularly if you are a past citizen and you want something to say about your experiences during that civil rights movement 50 years ago. But I do have on the line a young man who is concerned about you voting and making sure that you do vote. How are you doing this morning, caller? What's going on? You got me, caller? I'm missing him. Good morning again, caller. Okay, well, we tried. You may need to call us back because we want to hear what you have to say because you're taking the election process to another level, a higher level. I guess it's higher, you should say, but you're asking the people out there to give you an opportunity to represent them. So, how are you doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing okay, Calvin. It's an overcast sky day, but that means it won't get too hot.
Well, it might get hot. It depends on the conversations that you hear. As a politician, I know somebody's going to be putting some heat under your feet. What is your name?
Yeah, this is Willard Lindsay.
Willard Lindsay. Now,
Willard Lindsay.
that sounds familiar because you've been on the program before. Because of the fact that you plan on running for a political office here in our great state. Which one is it?
It's a House District 99,
Uh-huh.
formerly held by Opio Ray, and it's up for re-election this year. And so I want to come back and share some additional thoughts as we continue to campaign, just kind of keep your listeners informed, because I know that's the type of people you have listening to your broadcast.
Well, no brag, but it's a fact. We do have the most intelligent listening audience in Oklahoma, no, in the nation. So tell me why Willard Lindsay is running for an office, and what we can expect to see him do during the campaigning coming up.
Well, I continue to say that my issue is about the opportunity for African Americans to have their voice here at the table of policy that's within the majority office. I think simply chasing legislation after the fact is really not in our best interest. We've really never done that. For 40 years we've elected representatives.
Well, Willard, you're fading in and out on us for some reason. But the thing is, and the thing that I want to hear your comments on, is the Freedom Fiesta. Will you be there Sunday at 4 p.m. at the Friendship Baptist Church?
I'm going to be there Sunday at 4 o'clock.
So the voters will have an opportunity to talk with you personally, right?
They will have an opportunity to talk with me personally. Again, I don't know what your agenda is. If it's going to have that opportunity to do that, if it's a structured program. If it's not, I clearly will be at Friendship Baptist Church.
Well, Monday is Attorney John E. Green's Day, and that will be at the Freedom Center. Will you be there at the reception that will be held at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, August 18th?
I'm not scheduled to be at that event.
Well, put it on your schedule. That's why I tell you to get your pencil and pen ready.
No, I've got the agenda. I've got a conflict on Tuesday. I'm on Monday, but I'm good on Tuesday.
Tuesday, now that is a great day, and we'll be explaining more about that because that will not be at the Freedom Center per se, but it will be at the Oklahoma Historical Society there at 2401 North Laird. Willard, I know this is a kind of a question that I have to ask you because I really want to know. 50 years ago, what were you doing? Were you concerned at all about the civil rights movement?
Yes, I was, Calvin. 50 years ago, I was a little baby. So my mother was involved in the NAAC movement, brought us in to that as a child. I was in the youth council later after I turned around, I think about 5 or 6. So when I say I was involved, I was born in '58.
Oh my goodness. Well,
If my
okay.
mama was there, I was there. I think I
Now,
was involved.
now that's involvement totally.
Yeah, well, you got to go where she goes.
Now, you share that year with our current mayor who brought out during city council meeting that he too was born in August of 1958. And some of the earliest memories are hearing about the sit-in movement and the concerns that his family members had for the sit-in. You know, when you're young, oftentimes you don't pay much attention.
Right. But I think I've always been a very serious child, and so I remember those struggles. I remember the conditions, white water fountains, colored water fountains, and the segregation issues.
Willard, I'm having little technical problems here. You need to speak louder, but the bottom line is that you will be a part of the Freedom Fiesta. What about that parade Saturday that will start off at Pitts Park and then go down 23rd Street? Will you be in that?
Well, you should see my people there. As you know, I've got a forum that morning at the History Center, starting at the same time as the parade starts, and so it's important that I be available to answer questions from this particular constituency group. So I will be there at 10. I don't know how long that forum will last, but I clearly will join the festivities.
Well, be ready when you come to any of the Freedom Fiesta celebration activities because they're future voters, maybe for you, maybe for your opponent, but they're future voters that would love to talk with you personally and shake your hand and look you in the eye and probably ask you what you're going to do. Okay? All right, well, let me move on because I have quite a bit on my plate today.
Okay.
But thank you for calling because it is important that we utilize the political process. That's why all during this week, we have been emphasizing that registering to vote. So we have you on our mind, and good luck in your campaigning.
All
But
right.
let me move on to this other caller here.
Calvin, we'll talk with you later.
Okay, appreciate it. I'll see you later. You coming by the center today, I hope.
That is correct.
Okay, good. Well, 50 years ago, he was just a baby. And now today, he's a beneficiary of the sit-in movement, the beneficiary of the civil rights movement. And, well, we're going to see it really working because he's running for an office. I mentioned to you some things, but no, let me save that till after this caller. Good morning, caller. How are you doing this morning?
Calvin,
Yes,
I
Merlin.
am doing absolutely fantastic.
All right. Now, why are you doing so fantastic on a dreary-looking day like that? This, even though it's cool outside, and I know you too have been heavily involved in preparing for the Freedom Fiesta. But why are you doing so good? Why are you doing so? Why are you so excited?
Calvin, I am so excited because God has granted us one more day. That's why I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm sitting here looking at my beautiful mother as she's enjoying listening to you on the radio and thinking back that 50 years ago, we can't forget about that hamburger and a Coke. And I heard you talking and I started crying because when you started talking about the kickoff rally, Doc Williams Day, Mosey Walker at the Friendship Baptist Church, I thought about Wayne Wine. It was just old Wayne to us then.
Right.
And now he's Reverend Wayne Wine.
Unreal.
And Sam, who's just old Sam then, now he's Reverend Sam Craig.
Stay out of trouble, Sam.
But then I thought about those commandos and the role that they played in the midst of the civil rights movement and how those young men, Larry Jeffries,
Block, as we like to call him.
Yeah, we called them Block then.
Right.
Big Bud, Ronnie Spivey, and the list goes on and on. How hard they fought to protect the young people in the midst of the civil rights movement. And my hat goes off to those young men who were only children themselves, 11, 12, 13 years old, but had the will and the desire to protect their neighbors.
Well,
So I say to you, hats off, Commandos, and I hope that you will be here in the midst of the Freedom Fiesta celebration. And I would like to ask this most intelligent listening audience today, are you with us, Oklahoma? If so, I need you to start calling into the radio station and let us know what you're going to do to make the Freedom Fiesta a better celebration. Are you going to be there Sunday to hear Sam Craig, class of 1964?
oh, there you go, bragging on Douglas High School.
That's my class, the best class ever left Douglas High
Now,
School.
that's debatable.
Except that class at 64 that left Dungy High School. Can I get an amen on that?
Not
and
from here, Merlin.
And on Monday, August the 18th,
Okay.
Attorney John E. Green Day. Yes, Attorney John E. Green symbolizes the lawyers that worked so diligently during the civil rights movement. Archibald Hill, E. Melvin Porter, A. Vicenio Johnson. Oh, and the list goes on and on. It's just Doc Williams Day, which represents all the lawyers that helped us. Henry Floyd, that helped us during the civil rights movement. And you can go up to Freedom Center and get cakes and hot dogs all day Monday up until the reception starts at 6:30. And I would like to invite you because do you know who will be at this reception? From the National Office of the NAACP, the National Legal Council. Come in and meet these people that are coming in from the National NAACP. I think they're sending a staff of 5 in here that will be here on tomorrow. Yes.
Outstanding.
Monday, August the 18th, Johnny Green's Day. That symbolizes not only Johnny Green, but the people that dedicated their lives to the fight for civil rights.
Merlin, as we go through the activities of the Freedom Fiesta, it's one name that keeps standing out to me, and that's A. Willie James. Every time we mention NAACP memberships, I can see Uncle Willie now with his little coat on, and in that inside pocket, he had some NAACP memberships. Will there be an opportunity to join the NAACP during the course of these events?
Every event you have a chance to join. Yes, Uncle Willie, we've called him, because we loved Uncle Willie. Uncle Willie dedicated his life, A. Willie James, to the NAACP and making the NAACP grow. Yes, every time you saw Uncle Willie, A. Willie James, he had NAACP memberships in his pocket. Right. And don't tell me you're a member of the NAACP because we have the role. If you tell me you're a member of the NAACP and don't have your membership, I'm gonna let you know about it. Because on Tuesday, it's Cecil Williams Day, the black business.
Go Cecil.
And Cecil was advisor to the youth council. He was strict. He wouldn't even let us turn on the radio in his car. I can remember that.
I can too. Now, that was quite an experience. I don't know if it was a new car or an old car, but whatever car, it was Cecil's car. And of course, being a teenager back then, we wanted to hear some jumping music. We wanted to listen to KBYE, was it back then? And I reached over. Well, one time I was in there, and probably I don't know what happened when you reached over to turn on the radio. Well, I got the best talking out of my life, and since that time, I don't get in anybody's car.
Turn on the radio.
Turn on the radio.
That's why he was advisor of the prize-winning Oklahoma City NAACP Youth Council, because Cecil Williams demanded discipline. So that day is Cecil's day. I don't care what anybody says. Cecil Williams is a vital part of the sit-in movement. And thank God for Cecil because he had such an impact on all of our lives.
What about the labor unions that he worked with and represented in the apprenticeship programs that he really
got people jobs.
Yeah.
He didn't talk that talk, but Cecil L. Williams walked that walk. Thank God that Cecil Williams was able to help so many people and to help develop so many lives of young people here in Oklahoma City. But let me finish telling you. I tell you why it's called Cecil L. Williams Day. But on 9:30 in the morning, on Tuesday, August 19th, yes, the beginning of the sit-ins, I will see you at the Oklahoma Historical Society, located at 2401 North Laird. If you're late, you might not get a seat. So I recommend that you will be on time because you're going to see something that you've never seen before in the state of Oklahoma, where the governor, the mayor, the legislature, the city council will come together
County
to
commissioners.
celebrate the beginning of the sit-in movement. Do you realize that on August 19th, 1958, the Oklahoma City NAACP Youth Council declared war on segregation? No more will America be the same, only because of the wisdom of a little school teacher in a small community called Spencer. Tony Dungy High School had the fortitude to take 13, 14 young people down to Cat's Drugstore and sit down. And did we sit? We sat to change the course of American history. And on August 19th, we will celebrate at the Oklahoma Historical Society.
Really?
Not only will we celebrate, but the state of Oklahoma and the nation will celebrate the Freedom Fiesta.
Merlin, you know, let me bring this up because at Dungy School, that's where the brother president was. Mom was teaching there at that time, but the
Right.
young man that played Martin Luther King had a chance to
William
see
Miles.
him. Had a chance to see him last week. What did you think about that, William Miles? He hasn't changed that much, but he remembers that brother president. I think he probably could do the lines again, but he
He
remembers.
did do the lines, Cal.
Okay, I missed
And
that.
that was 50 years ago.
Years
But
ago.
he said that brother president impacted his life, and the mom impacted his life where he would never be the same. And he is very successful in California, and my hat goes out to William Miles, brother president, Dungy High School. And I want to know, is Dungy in the house for the Freedom Fiesta celebration? Will they be in the parade? Will they be part of the celebration? Will they be registered voters? Because if it hadn't been for Dungy, it hadn't been for Clara Luper, it probably never would have been a sit-in movement.
Well,
Then let me go on.
Merlin, let me take a little break here because I want to remind people that there at 23rd Martin Luther King Avenue is a little grocery store there called Hometown, and they have some fantastic sales going on this week. I don't know if it's because of the Freedom Fiesta, but you need to go by Hometown and check out those sales in the meat department, and especially there in the canned goods. But let me also, while I got you quiet for a minute, put down the phone for a second and sit back and try to relax and try to enjoy this song as we let our listening audience get their pencils back sharpened up because we got to Tuesday now. So enjoy this. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for bringing us joy. Thank you for just giving us an opportunity and the nerve to go down and to ask for that hamburger and Coke. That is a song by a group called Endurance, and it has the Blue Room shaking, and I know that wherever you're listening, that it has you too clapping your hands and moving your feet, because the time has come to celebrate what we've been through. Now, it may not sound like very much, but it's a very important time in all of our lives. And you look around and you think about where that hamburger and Coke, how many times it has affected your life, how many different restaurants that now you're able to go into and sit down, a waiter or a waitress will come over and ask you, what may I help you? Either in the buffet lines that you go through. You know, we couldn't, back then, wouldn't dare go through a buffet line. They didn't have a black folk only buffet line, a colored section, but you could get your meal and go outside in that brown paper sack. But I was talking with Merlin Luper Hills.
I'm still here, Calvin.
Okay, good.
I'm
You
here
telling
now.
us?
And
You
I
telling
wanna-
about the news conference that will
wait,
be
wait,
Tuesday?
wait.
Okay.
Calvin, let's go back one
All right.
step because that song made me think.
All right.
When we presented Brother President in New York City at the invitation of Herb Wright and the NAACP, we had an opportunity to go the northern route. And if you remember and can reflect back in Oklahoma City 50 years ago, this city was totally different. Blacks rode on the back of the bus. Blacks were not able to eat in restaurants, and when they go downtown to shop and spend their money for clothes, and they couldn't try on hats, and most places closed, and my grandmother would have to take a string and measure our foot and go buy our shoes because we were not able to buy shoes.
Think about the housing too, Merlin.
And not only that, and when you got hungry downtown, you had to go and order your food and go to the back or eat out of a paper sack, a brown paper sack. We couldn't live across 7th Street. Hey,
Come
that's
a
the
long
way
way.
Oklahoma City was 50 years ago. Now, we got to remember, and we're going to have to teach our children so they can have a better respect for our history. Because if we don't teach our young people, if we don't remind them from the road that we've traveled, how in the world do we expect them to look forward to the future to know that they can do anything? Anything is possible. Anything.
Well, when we were doing the process of the sit-ins, there were many humorous events also, and I'm thinking of one when Mr. Earl Temple went into Anamah. Do you remember that incident?
Yes, they thought he was a white man and served him. And we said Oklahoma City integrated because they served a black man.
Fantastic.
He almost had a coronary arrest.
Yeah.
But Calvin, let me tell you something.
Tell me.
We are in the midst of a voters registration campaign, and we have registered over 600 registered voters in the last 10 days. And my question to you, are you a registered voter? Come up to Freedom Center, get some voters registration forms, and register your neighbors and friends. I'll be up there at noon, and let's get some people registered. And not only that, join the NAACP. Stop being a hypocrite. Get your $10 for your young people. Pay your $30 because I want to see if your name is on the roll. Your job that you have today is a result of people whose blood that you're standing on top of. People that have given their lives to make Oklahoma and America change. Yes, get your NAACP membership today. And I mean get it today because freedom isn't free. That's what they always taught us. But Kevin.
Yes, Merle.
I'm looking. 7 o'clock.
I'm looking at
to the Historical Society.
Okay, that's where I'm at.
We will go up to Freedom Center and have, according to Leola Ford, Wilma Ray, the greatest salad fest in history. Yes, up there we'll be registering voters on Tuesday, NAACP membership registration, and on Tuesday night at New Zion Baptist Church, we will have a all freedom rally where Shelley Marie Luper Wilson, former national board member of the NAACP at large, the youngest ever to be elected, former president of the prize-winning Oklahoma City NAACP Youth Council, former Miss Langston University, former, I can go on and on. But if you want to
she will be there, you say. That's Tuesday
at the mass rally.
New Zion.
And Calvin, at that time, we're going to have a membership laydown. I had asked the churches to only be responsible for 20 NAACP membership, whether they're young people or adults. Because, as Martin Luther King said, if it had not and it was not for the black church, where would we be? Because the church is the ear of our community, and we must take a lead through our churches. And we want to see what the churches are actually doing as far as the fight for freedom. It's easy to talk that talk, but it takes money to walk that walk.
Merlin, talking about people that will be walking that walk at that mass meeting, thanks to the NAB vets, the National Association of Black Veterans, they will also be a part of that mass meeting there at New Zion Baptist Church.
Right. Calvin, the black veterans will be a part of the entire week. I was getting ready to talk about them a little bit later on, but since you brought them up, they are leading the parade, but I'm not there yet.
Okay.
And at New Zion, at 7 o'clock, don't be late. And everybody got activities going on, but the fight for freedom has to continue.
All right, that's at 7 o'clock. Okay.
At 7 o'clock. Don't be late because every activity we have will start on time that we are responsible for. But then on Wednesday, August the 20th, is President's Day. And Ladia Jackson, former president, who is now a junior at Langston University, will be, along with the other officers and presidents, putting on a show, a Freedom Show at 6:30 at Freedom Center.
Wait, what kind of presidents, Merlin?
NAACP president.
Okay, Because
David
I
the
don't want them to
Cookie.
come there looking for Bush or Kennedy, anybody
Oh
like
no,
that.
Calvin.
No,
Oh
okay.
no. This
Okay.
time, these are young people that have been trained through the NACP. Hey, we are on our way. And right now, we have such a large representation at Langston University. And my question is, will Langston be in the house? Since Clara Luper is a graduate of Langston University, will Langston be a part of the celebration? Oh,
Of
you need to
course.
ask Langston. I haven't heard from him,
You
but I
haven't?
need you to ask.
Of
No,
course.
I haven't heard from my school yet. And Mrs. Clara Luper graduated from Langston. But my question to the radio listening audience today is Langston in the house? On Thursday, August 21st, is Sit-Inners Day.
Uh-oh.
And at that time, from 11 to 2 o'clock, we will have hamburgers and Coke,
Uh-oh.
which was civilized as we
Finally.
forget.
50 years later, we're going
50
to get
years later, we're going to have a hamburger and a Coke,
Well-
and it will be prepared at Freedom Center. Come by, Gloria Matthews said, for the best hamburgers in town, $5. Bring your $5 up and get your hamburger and a Coke.
That's ironic, Merlin, because remember Barbara Posey, that was her name then, was going to pay for all 13 people's Cokes and hamburgers with a $5 bill.
Yes, and you can't even get a slice of bread for that.
Yeah.
Okay, Calvin,
Mhm.
but at 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, let freedom ring, the voices of the sit-inners at Freedom Center. And history will be recorded at that time. People from the Oklahoma Historical Society, along with some local TV stations, will be recording your reflections of the civil rights movement. What do you remember that happened in Oklahoma City during the sit-ins? Come and tell your story. And this will be recorded for all to hear, so you can have your grandkids and your great-great-grandkids to listen to the story you have to tell. We have a responsibility to let our people know from which we've come. And if you don't tell them, and who can tell your story better than you, shame on you. The door of opportunity.
But let's go over that again, Merlin. That's 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Freedom Center, 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue. Okay?
Yes. And don't be late. Tell
Definitely.
your story. I was talking to Pinky Barnett yesterday, and Pinky reminded me of some things that I had forgotten, even about the times that we thought the KKK was getting ready to mess with our house, and Mama had we had to sleep on the floor and hide in the back. Yes, Pinky, you triggered my remembrance of other events that happened during the civil rights movement. But I want you to come and tell your story. I want all of you that were involved, those that washed and picked up pennies and newspapers and kept the civil rights movement going. Those of you that were maids in Nichols Hills that listened to hear what others were saying to give us tip-offs. I want you to tell your story. Yes, Oklahoma City, this is your time to tell your story. So it will be recorded for all to hear, even 50 years from today.
Well, Merlin, that is an opportunity that should be treasured by each and every person, not just the original sit-ins, but there were hundreds and there are thousands of other people who, if it had not been for their cooperation, there wouldn't have been a sit-in. It wouldn't have had the impact that it had on our city. It wouldn't have made the difference. And I look forward to hearing some of the reactions of a lot of the people. Over the years, of course, everybody will see you, they'll remember something. But this will be the time, a special time, that we can not broadcast it necessarily, but at least put it on tape and have it ready for the future. 672-1220. Merlin, I think I got another call.
Hey, don't leave me yet.
Don't leave you yet? Okay.
No, don't leave me yet, because I'm not through with my story.
All right. No, I don't want you to finish, though.
Okay,
go ahead.
I want Friday. It's Letty Ruth Hunter and Nancy Davis Day, and we will have the sit-inners breakfast at 7:30 a.m. and the Freedom Fashion Show. You want to model in that fashion show? Come up to the Freedom Center this afternoon and let me know. And then I'm trying to hurry along. But, Calvin, I can't walk too fast right now because I'm so excited I want to shout. Because on Saturday, August the 23rd, is Clara Luper's Day. And Clara Luper's Day symbolizes those of you that have been involved in the civil rights movement.
Well,
That is really your day.
Merlin, hold
Mom
on.
is just a symbol.
Merlin, hold on just a minute. Let's go back so I can take this call on the line here, and then I come back and we can really take time and explain more about what will be happening on Clara Luper's Day at the Pitts Park, where the parade will start and going down Northeast 23rd. And we want to hear that. But let me take this call, Alex, and we'll see what they're doing. Merlin, hold tight. Audience, hold tight. Good morning. How are you doing, caller?
Good, doing good. Good morning, sit-inners.
Good morning. That voice sounds so familiar. Who is this?
I want to apologize. This is Roosevelt Milton. I want to apologize for taking so long to call in. I got busy this morning doing some honeydews and was out on the yard at 7:30 and kind of forgot.
Well,
I'm glad to get in here.
That's what honeys will make you do.
That's right. I want to congratulate the sit-inners, though. This is the 50th anniversary, and unfortunately, some people seem to have forgotten. A very important meeting was scheduled by the police department to have the Citizens Advisory Board to meet with the public on Tuesday. That's August the 19th, and we just felt like we didn't want anything to interfere with this.
Well,
50th
thank
anniversary.
you. Thank you.
So we talked about it and made a decision to change that, but I want to encourage people that whenever that does happen, with all that is going on in the community as far as the shootings and so forth, police shootings, we need to be there to ask questions and to listen and see what the Citizens Advisory Board is about and how they fit into this situation that we got before us.
You know, Roosevelt, as life has gone on, I know that together we can make a difference. Together we can change that. As parents and grandparents, we can make a difference with our young people where they won't be in that situation where they might antagonize the police.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. We have to educate ourselves and the community.
Definitely.
Now, there's a way that you conduct yourself. And when you violate that code of conduct,
that's it.
You put yourself at risk as well as those who are here to protect us.
Okay.
So it's going to be a give and take discussion. But I think it's another step in the right direction. And so I look forward to that event, and I look forward to all of the activities this week.
Will you be a part of it?
Fiesta Week.
Will you be a part of those activities, Roosevelt?
Well, I plan to be a part of them, as many as I can, Calvin.
Okay.
And so look to see me. Certainly you'll see me Tuesday morning at the History Building.
Okay.
That will be a grand occasion, and I hope that the people will come out and in recognition of those who open the doors for all of us.
And don't
not
forget,
just in this community, but across this country.
Don't forget the rally that night. Tuesday night that will be held at New Zion Baptist Church. That's going to be a memorable event also, man.
Absolutely, and it might be necessary for you to go through it one more time where the kickoff is going to be Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Will do. I'll do that before we get off the air. I've kind of gotten distracted here, not only by the surprise of getting a call from you, but a beautiful young lady just walked in the studio, and you know how that goes, having been around the Miss Black Oklahoma. Some things you can take in stride, some things you can't.
Well,
so,
thank
Roosevelt,
you for having me on, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, Roosevelt, make sure you finish that list of honeydews.
You can count on it.
So that we won't have anything in the way during the coming week. Now, Merlin and I were talking about the Clara Luper Day that will be Saturday, August the 23rd. Merlin, you're still with me, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I was trying to get Roosevelt, but since he didn't tell you, Roosevelt has been working diligently with NAACP memberships. And Roosevelt, you are the president of the Oklahoma City NAACP and adult branch, and my hat goes off to you because it's not easy to do the job that you do. Yes, and Roosevelt Milton will be one of the leaders of the parade at the Clara Luper's Day Parade that will start at 10 o'clock. Oklahoma City, are you in the house? Will you be a part of the Clara Luper's Day Parade? Will your organization, will your church, will your sorority, will you be a part of this cry for freedom, justice, and equality?
What time is will they be lining up for the parade, and who do we contact, or how can we contact somebody if
We will
we want to be
be
a
at
part of it?
Freedom Center all week. I'll be up there afternoon today for you to come up there and register. I need your voters registration. I need you to sign up for the parade. I need to see what you're going to do. Are you going to be a lot of talk? Or are you going to be a lot of action?
Well, Merlin, let's not confuse them. You're not the only person that can take that information because the other
No,
youth
of
council
course not.
advisors will be there. I know Berlin Nero specifically is in charge of the parade.
Right.
I know that Mrs.
Absolutely.
Walker has her day. I know that Mrs. Red will be up there. I know that I'll probably be coming through there. But no matter what, we
There'll
want
be
your
somebody there.
participation. Yes, definitely.
And Calvin.
Yes.
And then on Saturday night.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Saturday night.
You know,
I
Saturday
can
nights.
see it now.
Uh-huh.
I can see it now. The Clara Luper dinner at Fifth Street Baptist Church, 801 Northeast 5th. At that time, the Let Freedom Ring Awards will go to Willard Moore, past secretary, lifelong freedom fighter, Willard Moore. Carl Holmes, longtime motivator, stimulator, a person who's helped change Oklahoma City through the Oklahoma City Fire Department and this nation. Yes, Carl Holmes. Senator E. Melvin Porter. Yes, Senator Porter. We have to honor you, and this is your day and the days of the Let Freedom Ring Award winners. Senator E. Melvin Porter. And you know his story. He worked for years through the legislature to help change things. And he was involved in the civil rights movement, president of the Oklahoma City NAACP adult branch. Yes, Senator Porter, we honor you. Portwood Williams Sr. Portwood Williams Sr. has always been involved in the civil rights movement from day one. On August 19, 1958, he drove one of the vehicles down to Cat's drugstore with his son, Portwood Williams Jr., riding along by his side. Yes, and Portwood Williams Sr. will be honored during this day. Reverend John A. Reed. Reverend Reed has made a difference in Oklahoma City. His actions, his reactions, and, let me tell you something. Reverend Reed is like that diehard bunny. He reminds me so much of my mother. He just keeps on going in spite of. He has and will continue to be a strong supporter of the Oklahoma City NAACP. Reverend Reed, thank you for the efforts. I know you made a cry out to the churches to support the Freedom Fiesta. Thank you for your involvement, and thank you for motivating and stimulating the other ministers in this area to stay apart for the cry for freedom and for Freedom Center. Yes, Calvin.
Yes, Merlin.
We're kicking off.
What about Aunt Nancy?
Oh, Nancy Davis. I thought I would mention her number one. Nancy Davis, advisor to the Oklahoma City NAACP Youth Council for over 50 years. Yes, Nancy Davis. The first black to go to Oklahoma State University. Nancy Davis still works diligently, although her body might have gotten tired. She works from her home for the fight for freedom. Nancy, you are recipient of the 2008 Let Freedom Ring Awards.
50 years later, we can't forget. Merlin, I'm running out of time. That old clock on the wall keeps doing what a clock is supposed to do. It's like the years have gone by, the minutes have flown by today. I know that each and every person that has listened to today's show has learned something, has put down on their schedule either August the 17th, Doc Williams Day, August 18th, Johnny Green's Day, at Friendship Church on Doc Williams Day, Freedom Center on the 18th, the news conference at the Historical Society on the 19th, the mass rally, the Freedom Rally at New Zion Baptist Church, President's Day at the Freedom Center, sit-in Day, the Freedom Center, Lady Ruth Hunter, Nancy Davis, and Lillian Oliver's Day. That breakfast starting at early in the morning, 7:30, and especially all the events are important. But Clara Luper's Day, Saturday morning, next Saturday this time, we will be lining up for the parade. But I'm running down. Yes.
Calvin, I forgot one thing that's very important. Clara Luper's dinner, the tickets are silver, bronze, and gold. $25, $50, and $100. Get your tickets today. I'll be at Freedom Center at noon. I'll see you there, and I'm out of here.
All righty. Marilyn, thank you so much. Aunt Nancy just called, but I won't have time to get to it. We have to make up for it at another time. But I want to let all of you know that have looked in the paper. I'm going to call the names of these people because we kind of turned out a little dark there. That's Benita Williams, Berlin Nero, Mrs. Red, and our mayor, Mrs. Ford, Merlin, and Mrs. Walker, and the guy on the end, that black spot, that's me. So when you look at the paper, at least you'll know the names. But we will get back with you. We'll see you during the course of the week of Freedom Fiesta. But Mrs. Sutton, I know you've been waiting. Benita, I know that you've been waiting, especially for this, and I've been practicing too. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Bernice. Happy birthday, Bonita. Happy birthday to you. And may you have many, many more. This has been Calvin Luper in the Jumping Blue Room, live and in living color. See you at the Freedom Center. See you during the course of the Freedom Fiesta celebration. And remember this, we too love you. I think.
And we'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Clara Luper Show. Join Sister Clara Luper here each and every Saturday from 9 until 10. And until next Saturday, may God bless you.
And the views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were not necessarily those of AM Radio 1220 KTLV.
Father, I need your help in a hand. Come on.
Every night, thousands of women and children sleep on the streets of Oklahoma City. Please, won't you help those less fortunate in these very difficult economic times? You can make a difference in your community by donating time or resources to the Applegate House for the homeless and abused women and children of our community. Please join with me in helping those lost and unfortunate souls by contributing whatever you can to the Applegate House. Once again, please help your neighbors. Any and all donations are tax deductible. For more information, please contact the Applegate House at Post Office Box 132, Oklahoma City 73101, or phone area code 513-304-3421. Thank you for your prayerful consideration and contributions. May God bless you real good.
This is AM 1220, KTLV.